We've got lots of positive brokerage commentary coming in on India. In fact, a lot of brokerages have started turning positive, and that includes some of the quintessential bears on the market as well. So we've got Nimesh joining us in the studios to take us through. So Nimesh, I don't know whether it's a culmination of monsoon, which hasn't even started, at least in Bombay as yet. Yes. But I mean, what are the factors, and now what are the index targets looking like across the board?
So Surbhi, the list is going longer and longer with most of the larger brokerages now turning bullish on India. To start with, HSBC was the first to upgrade India to neutral from underweight. They've been an underweight for a very long time now. So now they have a Sensex target of 26,000 versus 25,000 earlier. A couple of things for them which turned them to be positive. One was India's premium to the rest of the world was shrinking, so that was positive. And the fact that some of the high frequency data, including the likes of earnings and macro, are turning positive, which is why they've turned bullish on India. So that was HSBC for us. Citi last week upgraded the Sensex target from 27,000 to 28,800. They had a large conference as well. We spoke to the strategists as well. Even they feel that the Q4 earning was an inflection point, and they remain constructive on the fact that the macros are improving for India in the near term. So that was the key reason why they have raised the Sensex target. One of the long-time bull for Indian markets is Chris Wood. We all know as to how bullish he is on India. He has a huge overweight stance on India. On top of it, today he's raised the India weightage by another 1 percentage point. So again, that's a bullish view coming in from Chris Wood of CLSA. The so-called bear on the street was Ambit. They for a long had a Sensex target of 22,000. While they feel that this can still be a possibility, but this is not the base case scenario anymore for Ambit. They believe thanks to the firefighting done by the RBI and the Bank of Bureau, the things are turning positive. The earnings are picking up. Q4 was a good quarter, and given that now they have a Sensex target of 29,500. So clearly, a whole host of brokerages on the street are now turning positive. I think, and as you rightly pointed out, the key to this upgrades are largely to the fact that the earnings have turned positive and the fact that the macros are improving. So these are the key reasons why everybody seems to be bullish on the street now.
All right, Nimesh, thanks so much for that. In fact, we did catch up with Devendra Joshi of HSBC as well as Surendra Goyal of Citi earlier this month. Let's take a look at those views.
There have been some signs of growth and some positive signs that we saw over last month and a half in terms of earnings, in terms of high frequency data. So that gave some sort of confidence to investors. But at these levels, market it does look a little sort of expensive, and the earnings expectations are also high. So so there are positive signs, but they seem to be priced in at the moment.
Our index target, we have revised it up from 27,000 to 28,800. And the change is primarily we are seeing a good earnings momentum. And also on the multiple side, we have raised it a notch, a very small change. But I think what is interesting and which we have highlighted in our note is whenever earnings momentum has been positive, the market tends to trade at higher than mean kind of value.